crosses many industries. There's a famous Dilbert cartoon strip where the Catbert, as a consultant, is telling the pointy-haired boss about some hot new idea, and pointy-haired boss says, "Hey, aren't you the same guy who came in here and gave me total quality management?" And the cat says, "I swear to you that all the terms now are different." And the boss then says, "Well, how much do you want the check for?" And so we sort of entered that kind of phase. Now, of course, the Dilbert cartoon is a joke, and so for those of you who are involved in Agile, don't take that too seriously or personally. But there certainly is, I think, a lot of high expectations, a lot of we've seen this with our clients, overly enthusiastic attitude. And as a tester and test manager and test consultant, I consider myself something of a professional pessimist and professional skeptic. So I always take claims of great leaps forward with a grain of salt. And the next stage of the hype cycle is this trough of disillusionment they talk about. And failure to meet the expectations makes the technique unfashionable. I think having a healthy dose of skepticism and trying to manage the challenges, testing challenges and other challenges of Agile are actually going to help minimize the depth of the trough of disillusionment if we do that. I think buying into all of the claims only heightens the peak of the inflated expectations and thus deepens the trough of disillusionment. Now, what comes after that are the slopes of enlightenment and the plateau of productivity, which is where organizations have actually fully digested, if you will, the technology and how to use it effectively. And that seems to be some way off now at this point. I mean, certainly not seeing the trough of disillusionment yet, so we really can't expect that we will reach that plateau of productivity anytime in the next certainly 3 or 4 years. I mean, we think we're probably looking at a much longer 5 to 10 year period. Now, what does this all mean to you? You can say, look, expectations. I don't care. I do my job. You do need to manage these expectations, and as a test team on an Agile project, it is quite possible that you will be reporting things to management like, well, the quality isn't really any higher now than when we were doing traditional life cycles, or maybe it's even lower. Now, I know that there are a lot of anecdotal reports out there about substantially higher quality from Agile life cycles, and I've talked to some consultants and colleagues that I respect very much who say they are seeing that. But we've also seen with other clients that there actually is lower quality than they would have gotten with the more traditional approach. Another thing that you would be perhaps communicating to management would be some of the challenges that I've mentioned in this presentation, and particularly the issue of unlimited and potentially unmanaged change. I think this is the biggest cookie jar, if you will, from a management point of view and a business point of view is, oh, we can change anything anytime we want. At least that's the expectation. And if you start saying, well, we can't really deal with that, we need more control over there, control over these other challenges, and maybe the quality isn't what we thought it was going to be. These kind of things, these reports are going to create a psychological phenomenon that is referred to as cognitive dissonance, which is where what you are seeing and perceiving is a conflict with what your brain tells you ought to be seeing and perceiving. Now, cognitive dissonance ultimately is what pushes things along the hype cycle and gets us to the plateau of productivity. But in the short run, cognitive dissonance tends to be a fairly uncomfortable experience for the person who's having it, and since this is going to be management, that might trickle down onto the testers. So it's important that you be aware of these expectations, and that you look for overhyped expectations and help people manage those in a way that is productive, not counterproductive. Okay, so with those challenges in mind, a few conclusions before I open it up to Q&A. Good testing strategies will support the goals of Agile methodologies. It is possible, to quote Rodney King, for us to all get along. Agilists and testers, and we can be productive in Agile worlds. Risk-based testing will support increased quality, increased productivity, and flexibility. It aligns well with the Agile Manifesto. Certainly maintainable automated regression tests that complement the maintainable automated unit tests can help to contain the regression risks that are associated with the Agile methodologies, and allowing some significant proportion of reactive testing, say 20% of the test execution effort, will allow the testers to explore various high-risk areas that you might have missed in your risk analysis and that the automated regression testing might miss. So it creates a self-correcting element of it that's very important given the dynamism of what's going on. But by itself, good test strategies will not resolve the Agile testing challenges, because the life cycle is a environment in which the testers live, if you will. And also, this issue of the inflated expectations is going to create some challenges to us to communicate effectively about what's going on with these challenges. Now, back in 2002, when I wrote the second edition of Managing the Testing Process, commenting about Agile life cycles, I said that the onus is on us as professional testers to help develop a proper role for systematic but lightweight test processes and adapt the best practices of testing within the context of Agile methods. Hopefully this will happen before the end of this decade. Well, speaking of putting 10 pounds in a 5-pound bucket, I think I probably put 20 years of progress in a 10-year bucket, or even 8-year bucket in that case. We do still have a fair amount of work to do. It's always hard to properly conceive of how much time and effort are really required for organizations to change the way they do things. And we will, I think, see some resolution of issues as they go forward, but it is going to take some work. And certainly, our company, RBCS, we're happy to remain engaged in that work. As I've said in previous presentation of this talk, if 10 years from now everybody is doing Agile, RBCS will still be in business and making money. And if 10 years from now nobody is doing Agile, RBCS will still be in business and making money. We've been around for 15 years now. This is our second recession, and I'm pretty confident that we'll be around to see a third recession as well. And we don't really have a dog in this fight, I guess, is my main point. The dog that we have in the fight, if you will, is that we want to see effective, efficient testing done by people who are motivated, happy, and professional. And to the extent that we can figure out a way, we collectively, testers and Agile advocates